Welcome back to Fast Money. Some big buzz on Bitcoin today after Grayscale announced plans to convert its popular Bitcoin Trust into an ETF. Grayscale's Bitcoin Investment Trust has more than $30 billion in assets under management, is up more than 65% year to date, but it has trailed Bitcoin this year. Joining us now is Grayscale CEO Michael Sonnenschein. Michael, great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
You said that in the life scale of all the products that this was going to be the eventual next step, converting this trust into an ETF. And I'm wondering from a business perspective, what happens to that 2% management fee that you collect on GBTC when it does convert to an ETF, whenever the regulators give you the go-ahead?
Well, we put out this announcement today, Melissa, to really ensure that investors know that we're committed to converting GBTC into an ETF. We've obviously seen fees compress in the ETF market when there's competing offerings out there. And we likely feel that the same will happen when Bitcoin ETFs become a reality. And so we would venture to say that when an ETF does happen and GBTC does convert, you'll also see the fee come down as well.
Do you think that the impact of the launches of other ETFs have already played out in terms of the price action of GBTC? I mean, what was noteworthy to me was when the Purpose Investments ETF launched in North America, which is the first North American Bitcoin ETF, that was sort of in mid-February-ish. GBTC started trading at a discount a couple weeks later and has traded every single day at a discounted net asset value from March 1st through April 1st or so. So are we seeing that sort of premium of the exclusivity of being the only Bitcoin game out there start to come out of GBTC right now?
We're exceedingly encouraged by the number of access points that investors really now have to Bitcoin, whether it's additional funds or products, whether it's incumbent financial services players coming into the market. I mean, this has long been our business model and our belief. And at Grayscale, we've really never wavered from wanting to make sure that investors really had access to cryptocurrencies in the form of a security. And so we're at a stage now where the market is maturing, incumbents are coming into play, and it's really important that we get all of these elements as we build the infrastructure around the asset class correctly, and we ultimately believe a rising tide lifts all boats here.
But you think, I'm sorry, Brian has a question, and he'll jump in just a second, Michael.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you think that GBTC should really trade pretty much at net asset value like other ETFs do.
Well, this is a pioneering product, right? When we launched this in 2013, there was no ability for investors to have this kind of exposure. We were the first to bring a Bitcoin investment vehicle to the public market in 2015. And then in 2020, we became the first digital currency instrument to become an SEC reporting company. And so today it's the largest Bitcoin fund in the world and really has the track record and the longevity of operational success that has kept it as a highly liquid instrument and one of the preferred ways many investors get their Bitcoin exposure.
Hey, Michael, it's BK. So I'm curious, why now, right? So I hear a lot of bigger investors say, oh, there's going to be a regulatory pushback on Bitcoin. But then you, Fidelity, many others are relaunching or saying we're going to have this ETF. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? Is a friendlier SEC the reason why we're seeing so much activity in the ETF space?
It'd be tough to comment on why other folks are wanting to move forward with Bitcoin ETFs. Other than that, clearly in the investment community, and you know this as well as anyone, BK, people are excited about Bitcoin and they know that Bitcoin's here to stay. For Grayscale, though, this is nothing new. Our announcement today really just trails on what we've been working on. We first started working with the SEC in 2016 and spent the better part of 2017 in SEC registration. So for us, this is just a reminder to the investment community of our commitment to making sure that this does eventually convert to an ETF.
Michael, great to speak with you. Hope you'll keep us posted on this.
Will do. Thanks for having me.
Michael Sonnenschein of Grayscale. Brian Kelly, let's say you're out there and you're observing that GBTC had historically to itself traded at a premium to net asset value. You bought when it was trading at a severe discount to net asset value, thinking that it would go up. It has gone up. What would you do with your gains now?
Well, I think there's a couple things here, right? One of the reasons why the GBTC had such tremendous growth, there was that ARB. So you had a lot of money coming in buying the GBTC at net asset value and holding it for a year or 6 months. So I think some of that is going to unwind at this point in time. So if you're in that position, you're saying, hey, listen, I was in it for an ARB. I've done very well. I'll unwind that. But I happen to still be very bullish on Bitcoin. So I don't think there's any reason why, if you still have that view, you just can't stay where you are.